What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Movie Raised.
Hey, everyone makes mistakes, right? Or maybe it was the director who wanted to give their fans a little hint about how the show was going to progress. Either way, in this list, we have an animated movie that showed the ending before the end, and we have Ted Mosby revealing the name of his wife early on in the show. Did you catch them? If not, here are the 10 times shows spoiled their own story. Let's dive right into it, shall we? Number 10, Blade Runner 49 and The Chosen One. The first movie is one with a major plot twist near the end. You see, in the end, it's revealed that Kay is not actually the son of Deckard and his replicant lover, Rachel, but it turns out that Deckard actually had a daughter by the name of Dr. Anna Stelline. But for the attentive viewers, this was not news. They saw it in the orphanage. How? Well, every boy there has a shaven head, whereas the girls have long hair. Now, if you look at Kay, he's the only boy in the movie with hair. That's because Dr. Stelline smashed that like button if you haven't done so already. But no, she actually implanted a memory of childhood self into the brain of Kay. And being a girl, Stelline could only see herself with hair when she was a child. Number 9, Mia and Sebastian's future was revealed in a song, La La Land. La La Land was one of the best movies of its year. It's a movie that looks at a relationship from a more pragmatic outlook, even though that means the lovers don't end up together in the end. For example, Mia and Sebastian break ways after having a solid relationship, and this breakup is foretold in one of the songs of the movie. The movie's opening song, Another Day of Sun, sings, "'Cause maybe in that sleepy town, he'll sit one day, the lights are down. He'll see my face and think of how he used to know me." Which is the last scene when they imagine the future together after they lock eyes in the bar. Number 8, Jaws spoiled the end. In Jaws, the movie ends when Martin Brody finally killed the sea creature tormenting the people when he exploded the compressed air tanks in the shark's maw. But this scene was already shown in the movie. When we see a picture of a shark biting down on a long cylinder, it's somewhat of a reminder about what's going to happen in the following scenes. And of course, we can never forget the scene with the air tanks rolling around on the deck and Matt saying,
"You screw around with these tanks and they're gonna blow up."
If that wasn't enough, we then had Quint say,
"That's real fine, expensive gear you brought out here, Mr. Hooper. But I don't know what that bastard shark's gonna do with it. Might eat it, I suppose."
Basically, these two told us everything that's about to unravel in the end. Number 7, Theon Greyjoys wanted to kill the direwolves, Game of Thrones. The first episode of Game of Thrones was pretty memorable, especially when Ned Stark found the direwolf puppies in the forest. At first, they were hesitant about what to do with them, but his children later asked him to spare their lives and give each of the kids one of the pups.
One for each of the Stark children. The direwolf is a sigil of your house. They were meant to have them.
However, if we take a trip back to memory lane, you will notice that the one who proposed Ned kill the wolves was none other than Theon Greyjoy. And from the following season, when Robb sent him to negotiate with his father, he returned on the Starks, direwolves, and conquered their home, Winterfell. But at the time, we didn't think too much about this scene, even though there was a hint he wanted the direwolves dead. Number 6, Hot Fuzz revealed their ending from the start. Hot Fuzz was a movie about the little town of Sanford and the saga that went on in it. You see, after Inspector Frank Butterman lost his wife when the town didn't win the Village of the Year contests, he decided to kill anyone who would be an obstacle in Sanford's chances of winning the next year. And even though this is only revealed in the final scenes, there's a major hindsight in the very beginning. Do you remember the scene with Angel and the inspector where Angel says, "With respect, sir, you can't just make people disappear"? And to do that, Butterman just said, "Yes, I can. I'm the chief inspector." Do you see it now?
With respect, sir, you can't just make people disappear.
Yes, I can. I'm the chief inspector.
Number 5. Miguel and Hector are related? Coco. Even as adults, we found Pixar's Coco to have one of the most eye-popping twists that we have ever seen in an animated movie. It turns out Miguel's great-great-grandfather wasn't actually the legendary musician by the name of Ernesto de la Cruz. Oh, no. When Miguel showed Hector, one of the tricksters of the town, a photograph of his mom with her parents, Hector realized that he's actually in the picture, although his face is torn out of the photo. Now, if you watched carefully, you will have noticed something really crazy. Early on in the movie, if you look at the guitar that Miguel is playing, you can see that the skeleton head on the neck of the guitar has one golden tooth on the upper jaw. Now, look at Hector's smile. Do you see the golden tooth on his upper jaw? That's right, they placed it right in front of our eyes. Number 4. Ted revealed the name of the mom, How I Met Your Mother. In How I Met Your Mother, Ted is telling his children the story of, well, how he met their mother. But the identity of their mom who passed away isn't revealed until the last season of the show. Or is it? In one episode where Ted Mosby and Barney Stinson go to a strip club on Thanksgiving, Ted tells them he met a stripper by the name of Tracy. But as he's telling them, he decides to play a little prank on them by telling them that's how he met their mother. But think about this for a second. How would the kids believe the prank if he didn't use their mother's real name?
I'm Tracy.
And that, kids, is the true story of How I Met Your Mother.
What?
I'm kidding.
But what we don't understand is whether or not the directors oversaw this little detail or they just left it in there on purpose for only some of their loyal fans to catch, which they did. Number 3. Jordan Peele's Us and the opening scene. Well, when the Tethered, a bunch of clones from the underground tunnels come back to the surface to eradicate their above-ground counterparts, things get a little too freaky in Jordan Peele's Us. But he left a major Easter egg in the first scene of the movie. If you don't look at the commercial on the screen, you could actually see a VHS copy of Chud, which stood for Cannibalistic Humanoid Underground Dwellers, in the 1984 horror movie about the homeless population that lived in the sewers of New York City. Do you see the similarity? Number 2. The Kissing Booth 3 reveal. Now, we don't know if we can consider this a story spoiler, but it sure was shocking when it came out. You see, in 2020, we knew that only one movie would be hitting the theaters, and that would be The Kissing Booth 2. But boy, did those guys surprise us. When they announced the release of The Kissing Booth 2, they also announced that they had taped 2 movies, one of which was the third installment of The Kissing Booth. So we watched that video with our jaws wide open, and we couldn't believe what we had heard. Back in 2019, when the team went to South Africa to shoot The Kissing Booth 2, they had also shot the third movie of what became a trilogy. The only thing we can't seem to fit through our heads is how the entire cast managed to keep their mouths shut and lie to us until the very end. But you know what? That's why they're professional actors. For them, it was just another movie role. Number 1. Riverdale spoiled that Jughead and Betty would be back together. Now, this one was pretty crazy when it came out. You see, when the show was doing a promo for their upcoming musical episode, a major spoiler slipped through the editor's hands. So while the kids from Riverdale High were preparing for Carrie the musical, the director made sure that much of the information he blacked out in the promo, but there was this one thing that he couldn't forget about Betty's casting bio, which read, Betty Cooper, Sue Snell, usually spends her time as Riverdale's foremost teen journalist, but between news stories, she is thrilled to be a part of Carrie the Musical, performing alongside her mother, Alice Cooper. Congratulations to her longtime best friend, director Kevin Keller, for realizing his vision, and much love to her boyfriend, Jughead Jones, #Bughead Forever. Now, the show could have just said that. The director wasn't up to date with all of romantic non-pairings, but we all know that Kevin specifically asked Betty whether she would be troubled if Jughead transferred to Riverdale High School after their breakup. But seeing how it was a big one, the show couldn't hide the fact that these two would be back together. And on that note, we end this video. But hey, do you know any other shows or movies that spoiled their own story? You can tell us in the comment section below. If you'd like more videos like these, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss any of them. And as always, thanks for watching, guys.